Hi, everyone. I'm Kara Suntham. Let's take a look at what was happening in Connecticut history today. 1 year ago today, on February 7th, 2021, the state was dealing with a snowstorm, and we learned what goes into the decision to cancel school.
Below freezing temps delivered snow and an icy mix to Greater Norwich, just as our forecast predicted.
We're really right on the line of the coast and inland.
School Superintendent Abby Dolliver tells me the decision to close schools like she did this morning actually begins the day before. And up at 3 a.m. as she tweeted this morning, while it looks good, can't take chances for midday and end-of-day transportation. Before calling school off, she says she consults before dawn with Public Works and the police department.
Honestly, my two priorities are safety first. That's whether kids are in school, our students, or out of school, and our adult students. And the second is that we want everybody in school every day.
Parents like Sandra Giustiano, who got the call at 4:28 this morning, says she wouldn't want to make that call to cancel.
I'm a store manager of a store, so imagine to be in charge of all the school system. And it was hard on them, but it's not easy for us as parents either.
But it was a different story in Lyme, in Old Lyme, as well as Old Saybrook, who had school.
They didn't get much weather, so it's kind of, that way they're not too hot in June.
What time did you get the call?
Usually around 5 in the morning, they call. I was surprised when I woke up. There was nothing on the roads. It wasn't even raining, wasn't snowing. Probably could have done without the snow day.
5 years ago, Keno had recently been legalized, and we had a story on how much money it generates for our state.
Oh, I just like gambling.
Chris Goff isn't a big gambler, but he does like to play the numbers.
It's a nice thing to do at lunch sometimes. Put a couple dollars down.
Ever since Chicago Sam's in Cromwell put Keno at the bar, people like Chris have found it entertaining.
Is there any special formula to it, or is it really just luck?
Pure luck.
Pure luck.
Pure luck, and the odds are terrible.
Win or lose, the state is making money.
Revenues increase from week to week to week.
The Connecticut Lottery says Keno is better than expected, considering it's been in Connecticut a little more than half a year.
I thought we'd have a couple of years to gather momentum in terms of knowledge.
Since Keno was rolled out in April 2016, it has brought in $35 million in gross sales. The state's general fund got more than $1 million last fiscal year, and for this year, well over $7 million.
Very surprised. It's a lot of money in 7 months.
The owner of Chicago Sam's wasn't on board at first. That's because the Connecticut Lottery wanted bars and restaurants to take Keno along with a number of other games, including scratch tickets.
Too much work, too much aggravation involved. For example, if you took scratch tickets, you have to either sell them or you own them. So at the end of your game, if you haven't sold the tickets and you had a package of 5,000 tickets, you as the restaurant own those tickets. You have to pay for them.
To win over more businesses, you can take Keno, and that's it.
And so far, Keno has been pretty successful. For this Cromwell sports bar, they tell us they take in about $200 a day. If you look at the 7 months that Keno has been in Connecticut, that's about $10,000.
I think it paid off. People are actually coming in, eating lunch and playing a little Keno, customers we'd never seen before.
Keno was proposed for years, and it certainly has its critics. Many don't favor more gambling. The Connecticut Council on Problem Gambling says more than 1,000 residents are currently in treatment, and about 6% of the population meet the criteria for problem gambling. Chris says it's all about self-discipline and knows for some that can be an issue.
I think everybody's responsible for themselves. We're all adults. We should be able to make our own choices, good or bad.
In Cromwell, Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
10 years ago, lawmakers were trying to figure out ways to protect the shoreline from storms like Tropical Storm Irene.
We've lost most of the beach, and now the tide comes through the beach onto the street.
Tropical Storm Irene pummeled East Haven's cozy beach. These pictures are still hard to make sense out of. But it wasn't just buildings torn apart. The storm washed away dozens of feet of beach. Now even the smallest storms make streets look like this.
3 feet of water in the street, and then, you can't get out of your house, and it sits there for a while, and it's just not pleasant.
Senator Len Fasano is pushing for long-term ideas to protect towns like East Haven. He's part of a task force that's trying to build some sort of seawall barrier or fund a massive beach restoration project. The report is not expected for at least a year, leaving many in limbo.
They're sort of paralyzed. Do I repair my house, but I don't have a seawall to stop against the next storm that comes up the coast?
This homeowner already added so many extras to keep his home standing when the waves start crashing, even adding these breakaway walls.
There's a pin there, and there's a pin down there, and there's only 4 pins holding the wall.
So the water can run under the home instead of washing it away. But he's not allowed to build a seawall to protect his property because DEEP, the state's environmental agency, won't approve seawalls. That's something else Senator Fasano wants revisited.
I don't think that these folks are asking for that type of handout. I think they just want a permit so that they can put their own seawalls in.
That's a look at today in Connecticut history.